Yesterday, you spent $8 buying lunch for a complete stranger. This morning, your boss calls you into his office. You expect the worst. Instead, he hands you a promotion worth $40,000 a year. You call it luck. Then you spend $300 on a designer jacket. Nothing happens. That's when you realize it isn't spending money that makes you richer. It's what you choose to spend it on. At first, you thought it was coincidence. So you started keeping notes. Every purchase, every outcome. Coffee, nothing. Expensive sneakers, nothing. A book about investing. A week later, you met someone who changed your career. A gym membership? 3 months later, you had more energy, better confidence, and unexpectedly landed a higher paying role. The pattern was impossible to ignore. Some purchases quietly made your future richer. Others simply emptied your wallet, but you still didn't know who or what was deciding. You became obsessed. You started running experiments. You bought the newest smartphone. Nothing changed. You paid for an online coding course. 2 weeks later, a freelance client contacted you. You spent $2,000 helping your best friend launch a small coffee shop. Everyone called you crazy. 6 months later, that tiny shop became one of the busiest cafes in the city. He offered you a share of the business. Then you made your biggest mistake. You bought a luxury sports car. You wanted to prove the rule was fake. Instead, 3 expensive repair bills, higher insurance, parking tickets. The car didn't make you richer. It made you poorer. That's when you finally understood something. Money only multiplied when it created value. Not status, not attention, value. The more you followed the rule, the faster your life changed. You invested in people. You learned new skills. You started businesses instead of buying expensive toys. Within 5 years, you became a millionaire. Then strange things started happening. A journalist asked for an interview. Investors wanted to know your secret. One billionaire invited you to dinner. He looked at you in the eyes and asked, "If you know how to make money grow, why aren't you the richest man alive?" You smiled. Because he was asking the wrong question. It was never about making money grow. It was about making value grow. A few months later, a struggling factory in your hometown announced it was closing. 500 people were about to lose their jobs. Buying the factory would cost almost everything you had. Financially, it looked like a terrible decision. Everyone told you to walk away. But something felt different. You remembered every lesson you learned, so you bought it. Not because it guaranteed profit, but because it created opportunity. Within 3 years, the factory became one of the biggest employers in the region. Families stayed together. New businesses opened nearby. And somehow, that single decision became the most profitable investment you've ever made. People still ask how you became rich. They expect you to reveal some secret investment or a hidden shortcut. But the truth is much simpler. The richest purchase you'll ever make might never look expensive. Sometimes it's a skill. Sometimes it's your health. Sometimes it's helping someone who later changes your life. Money doesn't always come back the way you expect. Sometimes it returns as an opportunity. Sometimes as trust. Sometimes as a future you couldn't have imagined. So before you spend your next dollar, ask yourself one question. Is this buying comfort or is it building my future?